You've been taught to smile when you don't feel like it, to respond when silence would serve you better, to justify yourself even when no one has asked for an explanation. From childhood, society conditions you to be reachable, moldable, predictable. You're expected to be available, emotionally, socially, mentally, as if your worth depends on how much of yourself you give away. But what has this accessibility truly given you? Has it brought you peace, power? No. Instead, it has turned you into an emotional puppet, reacting to every gesture, every word, every subtle hint. People read you effortlessly, and when they see that you jump at every push, they push harder. The world is full of experts at pressing buttons, but those buttons only work if they're within reach. This is where the concept of becoming unreachable comes in, not as an escape, but as an act of dominance, self-control, and inner power. We're not talking about building walls to avoid feeling. We're talking about learning not to react. Every time you react impulsively, every time you explode, justify, or rush to explain yourself, you give away your power. Silence is not coldness, it's strategy. Mystery is not indifference, it's magnetism. Think of those rare individuals who enter a room and dominate the atmosphere without saying a word. They don't shout. They don't seek validation. They don't offer explanations like open books begging to be read. They understand a fundamental truth. The less you give, the more people want to know. Humans are addicted to what they can't control, what's mysterious, elusive, unyielding to judgment. This is why unreachable people generate intrigue. They don't bend. They don't beg for understanding. They let go. Letting go is not loss, it's liberation. Let go of the relationship that suffocates you, the job that drains you, the commitments that tie you down without purpose, the need to be understood, validated, or approved. The more you cling, the more you depend, and dependence is the opposite of personal power. You cannot be unreachable if you constantly need applause, approval, or reassurance. Stop explaining yourself. You don't owe anyone a justification for your peace. Those who judge you already have their narratives written. They're not looking for truth, just confirmation. Don't feed their stories. Stay silent. Let time speak for you. To become unreachable is not about withdrawing from the world. It's about not letting the world pull you into its chaos. It's the power of emotional independence, standing firm in who you are, without bending to the whims and expectations of others. You don't need to react to every comment, every request, or every disruption. You don't need to wear your emotions on your sleeve, letting everyone around you control your mood. You are allowed to maintain your composure, your calm, and your center, even in the most turbulent situations. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about being able to feel and process them without allowing them to dictate your actions. The ability to stand still in the face of a storm is not weakness, it is strength. It's choosing not to be moved by external forces that only want to pull you off course. How often do you allow others to dictate how you feel? How often do you give away your emotional power to someone else's mood, tone, or actions? What would it look like to stop reacting in these moments? The key is this: when you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. When you stop reacting, you reclaim your power. And that is the essence of being unreachable, not closed off, but sovereign over your own state of being. You've been conditioned to believe that being accessible 24/7 is a sign of success, of importance, of being needed. But the truth, it's a trap. The more available you make yourself, the less valuable your time becomes. The more you respond to every text, every email, every demand, the more you teach others that your time can be taken for granted. You become a resource that others drain without hesitation. The myth of constant availability tells you that your worth is measured by how much of yourself you give to others. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the more you give, the less people value it. People learn to expect your presence, and they begin to take it for granted. What would happen if you started to make your time and energy more scarce? Not in a way that's cold or dismissive, but in a way that shows you value your own time as much as you value theirs. Imagine the power of saying no without feeling guilty, of stepping back when you need space, of choosing your interactions carefully. This is the art of becoming unreachable, not to disappear, but to make yourself a rare, precious presence that others will learn to respect. People crave what they can't understand. The more you reveal, the less mystery you have, and the less people will be drawn to you. It's the paradox of human nature. The more you withhold, the more people will seek to know. Think about the individuals who exude a quiet power, those who don't need to say much to command attention. They don't flood the space with their words or opinions. Instead, they sit in a room with an energy that leaves others wanting more. You want to understand them, but they remain elusive, just out of reach. That is the power of non-reaction. That is the power of being unreachable. You don't have to share every detail of your life to be seen. You don't have to justify your choices to earn respect. Instead, you let your presence speak louder than any words ever could. How much of yourself do you feel the need to explain or prove? What would it feel like to let go of the need to constantly reveal yourself and instead allow your silence and your mystery to create intrigue? When you master the art of being unreachable, you become magnetic. You become someone who commands respect not because you demand it, but because you don't need to chase it. The final piece of the puzzle is embracing your inner sovereignty, the understanding that your value, your worth, your power is not tied to how much you give to others or how accessible you are. Your value is inherent, and you don't need to prove it to anyone. Your peace, your energy, your time, they are yours to protect. When you become unreachable, you're not pushing people away. You're simply protecting your boundaries. You are teaching others to respect your space and your worth. And in doing so, you teach yourself the most valuable lesson of all. Your peace comes first. What would it look like to fully step into your own sovereignty? To stop living for the approval of others, to stop seeking validation, and to start protecting the most precious thing you have, your inner peace. It's time to reclaim your power, to take back control, and to become truly unreachable, not as an escape, but as a bold statement of who you are and what you stand for. If this message resonates with you, if you're ready to stop giving away your energy and start embracing the quiet power of being unreachable, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Your support means the world and helps us continue to create more content that empowers you to live authentically and reclaim your personal power. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are the author of your own story. Make it one that's worth reading. See you in the next video.